Ubisoft plans on showcasing Far Cry 6 on last-gen consoles prior to its eventual release, as a way of avoiding the same mistakes as the disastrous high-profile launch of CD Projekt Red's beleaguered Cyberpunk 2077, which was a game that was basically unplayable on last-generation systems. The French third-party publisher is aiming to release PlayStation 4 and Xbox One footage of its big open-world title in order to assuage any potential customer fears over whether or not the last-gen versions would be neglected by the developers in favor of versions on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, which was what happened with last year's botched launch of Cyberpunk 2077. Speaking to Video Games Chronicle, Far Cry 6 lead developer David Gavell said that the developers at Ubisoft Toronto weren't overlooking the last-gen versions of the game. To quote, "We really aim to target maximum quality on all of these platforms. As we go in the next few weeks and months, we'll start showing more on different platforms. What I can say, and I cannot go so much in details about specs or things like that, is that both on previous generation and on the new Xbox Series and PS5 generation, the game is running fine. We're really cautious about that, so we'll show more detail and more info very soon. But yeah, we'll care about all the platforms, both old gen, new gen, and even PC, Stadia, Luna, and all of that. This is reassuring news. After all, we live in a world post-Cyberpunk 2077, one of the most colossally fucked up video game launches of all time, and Ubisoft at least appears to be wanting to avoid a similar backlash, because whereas Cyberpunk 2077 launched on last-gen consoles as an unfinished, broken mess, Far Cry 6 appears to be avoiding a similar marketing blunder. Rather than be deceitful, Ubisoft's action looks to be an honest effort to try and gain confidence in Far Cry 6 as a product. However, with that being said, it is important that we don't just automatically take Ubisoft at their word when they claim they will honestly advertise the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions of Far Cry 6. After all, the company are perennial liars. In terms of game development, they've routinely been caught showing off trailer and demo footage that isn't representative of the final product, and in terms of being open and upfront about information, the company's horrible track record of sexual abuse and a lack of much meaningful action to solve the company's misogynistic workplace culture, though Ubisoft claims otherwise, means that anything Ubisoft says should forever be viewed with scrutiny. If anything, they don't really have much goodwill to spend, and honestly, I won't believe that Ubisoft's Far Cry 6 footage will be representative of the final game until proven otherwise when it eventually releases. I've just been burned by this company so many times, because once again, Ubisoft lies. A lot. But with that out of the way, Cyberpunk 2077's disastrous launch was indeed so bad that it probably has incentivized publishers like Ubisoft into showcasing last-gen builds of games prior to their eventual release. And on that front, there is a reason for Ubisoft to be honest when showcasing Far Cry 6's gameplay on older systems. There is a reason for them to commit to this. After the bungled release of Cyberpunk 2077, customers are wary that the game they plan to buy will be unplayable on last-gen systems. They are afraid of being deceived by a game's marketing department again. And with these new fears, Ubisoft does have an incentive to be truthful with Far Cry 6. Let's just hope that they follow through with it.